You are listening to Radio Long Island City, recorded at our studios near Hell Gate, 9 kilometers north of the Harbor Hill Moraine. And now, the Observatory. The Observatory, Wednesday the 8th of January, 2025. It is 18 days after the winter solstice. It is 71 days before the spring equinox. By the French Republican calendar, it is the 19th day of Nivose, the day of marble. The sun rises today at 7:20 a.m. Solar noon takes place today at 12:02 p.m. The sun sets today at 4:46 p.m. Civil twilight ends at 5:16 p.m. Nautical twilight ends at 5:50 p.m. The length of daytime today is 1 minute 8 seconds longer than yesterday. The moon is in its waxing gibbous phase and is 69% full at midday. The full moon will arrive on Monday, the 13th of January. These are the predicted tides today for Horn's Hook. In the very early morning, high tide, 4:49 a.m., 1 meter 43. Near midday, low tide, 11:11 a.m., 0 centimeters. In the late afternoon, high tide, 5:19 p.m., 1 meter 13. At night, low tide, 11:16 p.m., minus 3 centimeters. In our shared realm of plants and animals, it is the heart of scallop season. Out on the East End, in East Hampton, scallop season began at sunrise on Sunday, November 10th, and will continue until sunset on March 31st this year. Unfortunately, yields remain way below historic averages. In 1985, a brown tide algae bloom severely reduced the number of scallops around the island. Several later blooms, combined with eelgrass wasting disease, have further damaged recovering populations. Commemorations. On this day in 1037, the Song dynasty poet, scholar, and official Su Dongpo was born in the Sichuan province of China. One of his most famous poems reads in translation, "When old bamboos set off a few peach blooms, and one wild duck calls out, 'The water is fine,' and asparagus and wormwood show green shoots, then surfaces the globefish in the nick of time." On this day in 1835, the United States national debt was reduced to zero for the first and only time. On this day in 1859, Fanny Bullock Workman was born in Worcester, Massachusetts. She was a cartographer, explorer, travel writer, and mountaineer. She scaled many peaks in the Himalayas. She was also a campaigner for women's rights and women's suffrage. On this day in 1908, Fearless Nadia was born. Fearless Nadia was an actress and stunt woman who worked in Indian cinema. Her most famous role was the masked, cloaked adventurer in Hunterwali, released in 1935. On this day in 1978, Harvey Milk took office as a San Francisco City County Supervisor, a major milestone for gay people in politics. He and Mayor George Moscone were assassinated by Dan White just 11 months later. And this is the shared birthday of three great musicians: Elvis Presley, born in 1935, Shirley Bassey, born in 1937, and David Bowie, born in 1947. And that is the Observatory, Wednesday the 8th of January, 2025.